And it's in our best interest to maximize the impact that we can have with folks or have with society or have with groups by using the proper tools and resources available to amplify our voice. Welcome to Impact and Fulfillment with Coach Mike D, where you'll gain practical wisdom and dynamic insight from amazing conversations to live your best life. What's going on, y'all? This is Coach Mike D, and I got a quick message for you. You know, it's interesting, and this is something I've had to really come to grips with that I struggle with. Just because you use the data, the numbers, and the tools available, just because you use all of that stuff, that does not mean you are not in alignment with what God's called you to do. Just because you use the tools, the data, and the resources that are available does not mean that you are not in alignment with what God has called you to do. See, it's interesting. There are some of us that, and again, this is something I think I've come to understand I struggle with at times. There are some of us that don't want to look at numbers and look at data and look at this and look at that, because we feel like if we are moved to do something and God's called us to do something, or that little voice inside of us has called us to do something, that we just need to do it regardless of the data, the resources, the tools, and all of that that's available. And I get that. The inspiration is not coming from the data, the tools, and the resources. The inspiration is coming internally from the Holy Spirit moving or from God talking to you. But as it pertains to execution, God gave people who created all of these tools the ability to do so. And it's in our best interest to maximize the impact that we can have with folks or have with society or have with groups by using the proper tools and resources available to amplify our voice on whichever platform or distribution channel we're using to get that thing out there that we've been inspired to create. So what I'm saying is this: you're not necessarily inspired by the data, the tools, and the resources. You just use the data and the tools and the resources to amplify and execute that thing that you were internally inspired to do. The reason I'm saying this is it was like an aha moment for me, because I struggle with that, right? Sometimes I've come to realize I actually openly reject some of the things that are available from a tool perspective, because I feel like, okay, that's just manipulating this and manipulating that. But the reality is it's not. If I got a message inside of me, if I feel like I'm called to help somebody work through a particular issue, or help a group of people work through an issue, or to share an experience that I've had to help other people through a specific issue that maybe I've overcome, it is my responsibility to amplify that message so that it gets to the people that it's supposed to get to. And if I don't do that, truthfully, I might be doing that thing that I've been inspired to do a disservice. And then the real question is, and this is one that I'm really processing now myself, am I really being obedient to what I felt led to do in the moment anyway, if I'm not willing to use the resources and tools available to amplify it? So, and the reason I said that is this: we have all these different things, all these different voices that kind of run through our head at times regarding, I should do this, I shouldn't do that. And yes, there are a lot of things out there, especially on social media, that utilize various algorithms that push you down this path and that path. And at times you do have to question whether or not this is something you should do, or is it just, a result of you clicking on this type of video 7 or 8 times. So now you got so much here. That's not necessarily a sign, air quotes, that you need to do something, right? We have to be understanding and mindful of that. We do understand that's going on. And to me, from that perspective, that's when you shut things down and you pray. That's when you ask God for discernment and clarity on what it is you're doing, right? And okay, if you're not a person of faith, you find whatever means you have to gain discernment and clarity away from some type of technical or technological influence, because that's where you can gain that level of clarity and understanding on, something that you feel like you're inspired to do. And then once you gain that clarity, then you take action. But it's nothing wrong with using the tools, the resources that are currently available to amplify your message, to properly communicate your message. And one more thing to that, if I am using a particular platform, I have to communicate on that platform in a way that's in alignment with people who consume that platform. If I'm creating something and I have a message that needs to go on TikTok, I have to create a message that's in alignment with things that resonate with folks who look at TikTok. Or the same thing with Instagram, or if it's Facebook, or if it's a private message, or if it's WhatsApp, or, if I'm doing it on YouTube or YouTube Shorts, or, whatever. Name your platform that you're putting something out there on, right? You have to understand that. And so I hope this is something that could help someone out there that's maybe struggling with, okay, I feel inspired to do this, and I'm just going to shut everything else down and just do it this way. Because the reality is, I feel that God inspires us to do things, but then he leaves it up to us to connect the dots on the proper way to execute that thing. And that's the free will part of who we are and what we have going on. So anyway, don't beat yourself up about it. If you feel inspired to do something, do it. If you feel inspired to do something and you have various tools and resources available to amplify that thing that you were inspired to do, use the tools. That doesn't take away from the thing you were inspired to do. Okay? Just give yourself a little bit of grace and space and realize you're not perfect. But then always check back in, okay? Check back in, because, again, sometimes when I feel like I hear the right thing, maybe I was in the wrong direction. And I don't know I was in the wrong direction until I check back in. All right? So always check back in. That's honestly, in my opinion, why God doesn't give you a 40-step plan. He gives you a step at a time so that you're required to check back in to make sure that you're still on track. So anyway, well, hey, I hope this hits y'all well. And until next time, y'all continue to follow, continue to share. Hit me up, Coach Mike D, everywhere on social media. And y'all be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow Coach Mike D everywhere on social media. Y'all be blessed, well, and wise.